Hey, Omar here with Chicago Cycling Network, and man, today we have a treat. And if you guys are wondering why I'm dressed like this, it's Halloween, but this is not my Halloween costume, okay? You guys have seen this before. I like to dress up, on a Friday. I got my boots on. You can't probably see my boots, but I've had these boots since I live in Texas, and I bought it in grad school. So these boots are like 18 years old or so. So I've had them quite some time, but they're still in good shape. And I think I bought them at Journeys at the mall back in the days. I think at Redbird Mall. For people from Dallas, they know the exact one I'm talking about. That's a gangster mall that we used to go to when I was in college because it wasn't too far away from where my college was. But anyway, guys, it's going to be a treat today. Happy Halloween. And we're going to have some fun and learn about my buddy here. And, I nickname him and his main biking partner, Smoke and Fire. Okay. Because if you see one, at some point you see the other one. Okay. If it's a corner, you see one coming up, the next person you'll see behind them. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, that would be Chris Lamb, which I featured on the channel. These guys, when they're in a different biking group, the same biking group, you still see them together. Literally Smoke and Fire, always together, ripping guys' legs off on the bike rides. They train together, hang out together. I'm not sure they sleep together. I don't know, but they're roommates. But
don't tell them.
Yeah, but you always see them. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a good one. Again, thanks to everybody that's been liking, subscribing, spreading the word. I mean, I'm so grateful and thankful for everybody who come on the support, who understand the mission. And for all the people who come on is because they want Chicago Cycling Network to be successful, and it's a good way for them to come out and help to highlight why Chicago is an awesome place to bike in. Again, I've mentioned before, we become family over the year. Like sometime, on Wednesday night, we shut down 7-Eleven parking lot with this guy right here. Sometime 11 o'clock, I'm just coming home from after. We finish biking at like 7:30, but we just hang out and fellowship. Like literally, we learn about each other. Nothing is off the table. We talk about everything. We learn curse words. We learn where people are from, how they got here. Some of us are immigrants. Some of us speak 3-4 languages, have different talents, which you're going to find all these different things. But again, guys, this is why it is awesome to be here and just to feature all the different people, different backgrounds, and let's have fun while doing it. Okay, so let's just learn about my friend here, and it's going to be, guys, it's going to be a good one. So please introduce yourself and let's take it from there.
All right, I'm Jacob Wilson. I'm from Michigan originally, Ann Arbor area. Been living in Chicago for almost 20 years, about half my life. So yeah, and just know Omar from riding bikes, 7-Eleven, Wednesday night ride. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being half your life. More than that. That's way more than half your life because you're still a little baby, no? Compared to me.
I'm 38, so
yeah.
So I bet, and I moved here when I was like 19 for like college.
No way you're 20, you're 30. You look like you're maybe, I don't know, 25, man. You look pretty young, man. What's the secret?
I
biking is a secret.
Biking, getting good sleep.
I need some of that because, man, sometimes my sleeping in the past couple of days, my sleeping has not been great because I was stuck in the hospital with my son. I had some problem, but he's good. But I was in the hospital for quite some time. So if you guys are stalking my Strava, I wasn't biking because I was literally in the hospital sleeping on a sofa for like 3 days. But
man,
my son is good. He's in good shape. All is well. Yeah. So Ann Arbor. So what brought you to Chicago?
Going to school at I was going to school at Roosevelt. So yeah, that's like downtown, like in the Loop. And yeah, and I like Chicago, and I kind of, when I was in high school, like end of high school, I was kind of just where we lived was about 30 minutes outside of Ann Arbor, which is where I went to school. So every day, if I was going to school, coming back, hanging out with friends, all my friends were in Ann Arbor, everything. It was like always just like half an hour drive each way. So I was like, I never want to drive again. I hate driving. So where can I go that is, not going to be, I don't have to drive. Plus being really into music, wanting to do music, it's like you want to go to like some big city, you know. So yeah, Chicago, pretty close. Was looking at schools all over, but yeah, decided mostly really it was more about just coming to Chicago and going to school.
Gotcha.
You know,
when you get some of them taco and pizza and stuff, you came down here.
yeah, and just there was like being the music scene, being able to go to like jazz clubs and stuff, and then yeah, meet people, start playing with people. Like that was what I was really into. Wasn't really riding bikes back then, but I still rode to like actually the first year when I was living in like downtown in dorms, I didn't bike at all. But then I had like a bike that I rode around just to commute and stuff.
You still have that bike, or you got stolen?
Oh no, got that one of them. The first one I think got left in the basement of some apartment when I moved out. It's crazy we think so much about our bikes now, like know everything about them, but I don't even remember these bikes. Like I don't even remember what they were.
It was
like,
a bike. It had two wheels.
Right. I don't even remember the kind of bike. Like I think one maybe was like a hybrid, one might have been a single speed, but I just didn't really think about it,
So you left two bikes, just leave them behind?
No, one of them I left, and then the next one I had, I think got stolen, or I had a few along the way. One I think maybe just didn't fit me right, so I got rid of it. But just I would just go and like find one $100 on like Craigslist or something, and yeah. So, and then yeah, I had one that eventually I got one that that was, I don't know. It was all, I started getting like steel road bikes, So I got one that was, kind of fun to ride. And then when I started getting into it, that was the bike I started riding. So.
Yeah, that's how you brought a bike here. Is that one of your around town bike, or? That's
my commuter now. Yeah. It's just a aluminum, like.
It's pretty light. I was surprised how light the bike is.
Yeah. I mean, that was I think that was the precursor to the CAD series. So that was actually one of the first aluminum frames ever. I mass produced ones, and I think the first one like Cannondale made. So that was their, and then if you look at the early like CAD 1 or CAD 2 or whatever they were called, they look very similar to that.
Yeah, I was surprised you haven't taken that one to Windsor that ride, like on the last ride of the fancy looking bike. You never take it?
No, I should, but it's like, I don't know about you, but with my commuters, I just don't like to work on them. And so it's maybe not safe in that situation. For example, the rear wheel, the rim is like kind of, the brake track is coming apart a little. So I can't really use the rear brake. In an emergency, I can lock it up, but it's like, so riding around town, very efficient, front brake only.
But for somebody who ride, I mean, religiously, you should be able to take rear bikes, man.
No, I do. But then it was like I had another wheel on it, and then that wheel broke a spoke. And then it's like, couldn't find a spoke for it. And I'm like, I'm just going to put this wheel back on. It's a little sketchy, but it's fine for just riding around town. When I'm commuting, I like, don't ride too fast. Although sometimes the bike messenger comes out and
then you start challenging the bike.
Yeah, like,
Wait, this guy is super strong. And once you learn what team you ride for, you'll be like, really? Wow, crazy. Anyway, so you see at Roosevelt, what were you studying at Roosevelt?
Music.
Music.
Yeah.
Wow. So guys, we're gonna get to those cycling stuff later on, but what I want to learn about is music career early on. So you study music, and that's what you do now.
Yeah. So I started, just when I was at Roosevelt there's like a lot of jazz clubs around town have like jam sessions, which it's not really like an open mic where you kind of go and you just, some of them are maybe a little like this, but an open mic, you kind of go, you sign up, everyone kind of does their own thing, a jam session at a jazz club, which most jazz clubs, it's kind of always been part of the music, and jazz clubs have kind of had them forever. It's maybe on like a Sunday night, or like there used to be this one at the Green Mill on Fridays, but it started at like 3 a.m. or something. It was like, or 2 a.m. Like, so they'll be like kind of at not peak times. But if you look at like the calendar of any jazz club in any town, anywhere, you probably see one night a week or something. There's like jam session. So what that is there's like a house band of, usually older kind of seasoned pros, and anyone can come and kind of sit in and play tunes with them, so you got to know a bunch of tunes, there's kind of a standard repertoire, those tunes. And then some of them are like have a sign up sheet, but some of them you kind of just have to go and kind of start talking to the band and meet them and be like, hey, can I sit in? And,
Cool.
So I started doing that. And then you kind of start meeting other musicians who are doing that same thing, or like, and then someone calls you for a gig, and then, you kind of make your way into that scene. I started kind of doing a lot of like playing at, restaurants, brunches, just little, all kinds of,
Wedding,
gigs.
you do weddings too?
Yeah, well, I do now a lot. I've always done like some here or there. I used to do a lot, maybe like cocktails, but more playing like jazz. A lot of restaurants playing with singers, playing guitar along with like a singer, and
That's
a little
cool.
like, hotel lobbies. A lot of, I have this steady gig, a couple steady gigs at hotels for a year or even a couple of years, just playing like in lobbies and stuff with a singer or with a little trio or something. Now kind of after COVID, a lot of that stuff like went away.
Is it coming back now?
Yeah, but it is. I think maybe still not quite as much. That whole, yeah. But I kind of started playing more with this like wedding band and getting into doing that. Like kind of as people started doing stuff after COVID, 2021.
People are getting married again.
Yeah, exactly. And well, it was crazy because there were so many weddings that got postponed. So there was like
obviously got a big surge in.
Exactly. And so it was like kind of
and you're like, cha-ching.
Well, yeah. Well, I was like, I guess I should try to get into this scene, kind of like, so that helped because there were a lot more gigs. And then, like, again, like with anything, and just like with getting started with jazz and stuff, there's, once you know people, once you kind of play with these groups, sub with them, do stuff like that, start calling you more.
So this keep you pretty busy. So do you play with like one specific band, or you play with multiple bands now?
I play with a lot of different bands. There's this one company that I do a lot more work with. But it's a lot of it is really, you kind of have to just be able to play with, and this is something I learned from playing jazz, is being able to play with anyone at any,
Gotcha.
And no rehearsal, just like, you gotta know the tune.
Jim Hendrix.
You gotta like, be able to listen, be adaptable, but I find that that's fun, I do a lot more of those now, like mostly on the weekends and stuff. And, it's nice. Cycling's an expensive and time consuming hobby. And it's the money doing that is pretty good. It pays a lot better than playing in some restaurant for, or like even playing at like a venue which is like, you don't maybe always do it for the money, but like, it is like, that's one way to be able to make a decent living as a musician, is playing those kind of gigs.
I didn't know about this. I knew that you were in a band because the last time when we went to Ian's house for the barbecue, the grilling, and I think you posted a video on Strava, or Chris posted something about watching. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Jacob playing. I'm like, I didn't know this. I'm like, wait a minute. And that's, so you say you also teach music, you also teach?
Yeah. So I also, I teach, I teach actually. I've always played, my like first instrument I kind of got serious about was trumpet way back in like elementary school, so I teach still like trumpet and like wind instruments. I teach this band class, and they have like a jazz band at this Chicago
cool.
Waldorf School. Shout out. It's like in Andersonville. And then I teach private lessons at this other place. in Rogers Park, actually. So, and I teach.
We're in Rogers Park, by the way. Now.
Yeah, and mostly teaching. I'll teach a little guitar here and there, but I've never really and I've always kind of had. I got into teaching. Some of my teachers and stuff when I was in high school were like, started kind of throwing me some students that So I started doing that, and so I've just kind of always been doing it. And I kind of like teaching the wind instruments. It's kind of fun.
So how many instruments do you play?
I mean, I play them with varying degrees of proficiency, but I don't know. A decent amount, couple two-tree, couple two.
Man, this guy's been holding out, man. I see this guy biking. We hang out at 7-Eleven. We go and ride. And I never knew this about. Who knew this about him? Maybe probably Chris and some other people, Elizabeth. But I had no. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's like sometimes when you say people like, I'm a musician or something, I feel it's like, what does that mean? It can mean a lot of different things.
So, but now I know.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that's interesting about the cycling community, and maybe it's like this everywhere, is you often don't know what anyone does.
Correct.
Right? It's like no one really cares.
And then you don't know what anybody look like when they're not biking clothes.
Right.
Because I went to, again to Ian Barbecue. I'm like, who is that? Oh, that's Jacob. Oh, that's Chris. I'm like, wait a minute. Because it's like, I see you guys in helmet and fancy looking glasses and stuff and spandex. Like we're a bunch of mammals and everything. And so it's crazy. So now, I mean, you know what I do. And now I know like a little bit of your backgrounds. Now, you're even more interesting though. You're like the Dos Equis guy to me now. Like I had no idea that this is some of the stuff that you did. So anyway, guys, it's gonna be a treat. Okay, so now we know that Jacob has a very strong musical background. He's a musician and he's explained. So now we do have to ask him the question because he explained very clearly what he did, what he does. So now he's gonna give us some tunes. Okay, so spin some tunes for us. He brought his guitar.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, right on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
That's what's up. So he's gonna play a little tune for us, a couple seconds, and this is pretty awesome. Look at this. Look at this.
Well, let's see. Should I play some? Maybe I'll play a little Halloween.
Yeah, because it's Halloween.
See if you couple little Halloween tunes. See if you can guess what they are.
Ghostbusters. Oh, man, that was awesome. Who knew this? Brian Guac. Did you know this?
Brian.
I didn't know. Brian, really? Wow.
Well, because we've spent Brian and I are both 7-Eleven closers, so we're there all summer till 11 o'clock.
Man, who knew that Jacob played so amazing? That was good. All right, so learn about that. You got to tell us now. How did you get into biking? Like how?
Well, I guess I touched on it a little earlier, but I when I was I do as a kid, we all ride bikes a little, and I remember doing like a little bit of mountain biking where I grew up, like I was saying, outside of Ann Arbor, there's like amazing mountain bike trails and stuff. And I never really knew. I did a little bit with my dad, but it just wasn't really, if your parents aren't that into it, and it's kind of, you might not get into it as much, right? So I always thought it was really cool when do some mountain biking, but I just never really got that into it when I was a kid. And then when I moved to Chicago, like I was saying earlier, it was like I was just wanted to be able to get around without a car, so got a bike, used that just to get around a little, and then actually got a car after like a year, because I realized you won't meet a lot of musicians who don't have a car, because you gotta haul your gear.
Yeah.
I was like trying to go to like some jam sessions and get around, meet people and stuff, and I was just like taking the train with my amp and my guitar, and I still actually do that sometimes. If I have a gig downtown, bring a little amp and a guitar, get on the train. But it was like, man, there's things out in the suburbs, there's things all over, there's things that on the south side that are harder to get to. I remember one time walking home from this place that was on 75th, was this famous place owned by Lon Freeman. It was called the Apartment Lounge. It's gone now, I think, but it had this amazing legendary jam session that went to like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm down there walking home to like the L to like
looking like,
and this cop rolled up and he was like, what are you doing? And
Really?
He was like, just get in the car, I'll drive you to the train. I was like, okay. But anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a car. And I did. And so I didn't really ride bike even as much then. I got kind of car brained, as they say.
Do you still have a car?
I do, yeah. I mean, I for gigs, a lot of the gigs I do are in the suburbs or Wisconsin or Michigan, like, and then for racing, kind of ironically, it is like racers drive more than any other bike riders, because you got to drive to all these races, So, yeah, I mean, I've had a car since then. It's just kind of like, it would be nice not to have it, but I feel like, I kind of need it for my work, and I think of it as like a business expense kind of, and then, I get to use it for race, but I don't really, really don't try to drive it except when I need to, so
Gotcha.
Anyway, so, but for a long time, I didn't really ride bikes at all. And then I had this, this steel commuter bike that I just had, and I would ride it around a little. And then I started, I was trying to like quit smoking cigarettes, which I smoked for like almost 10 years kind of. So I was like, and I felt like I was like, I need something to help, take some of the energy out. So, and I've heard, this is a common story. A lot of people have had this experience. So started riding just on the lakefront path, wearing like jorts, and like, I think I was wearing like those, like, whatever those shoes that you don't, like boat shoes, you don't even wear like socks, you just say slide on, kind of something like that, and like, and then I just got, into riding. I started doing longer rides, riding the whole lakefront, and then riding, I think my longest ride on that, doing it like that without kit, was, it was pretty long though. I was getting up 50, 60 miles or something.
Wow.
And then I was like, again, everyone, you start being like, okay, maybe what's up with this bib thing? Like, why does my ass hurt so bad? Oh, there's a solution.
I need some butt
paste. You get some bib. So you're like, I'm not going to wear the jersey though. That's stupid. Right? I'm just going to wear the t-shirt, and then it's like, you got a little more, and you're like, okay, this is stupid. Yeah. I need a jersey. And then I went to this shop, get really close to here, actually. I think it's like, Lunt is not the cross street, but it's really close. What is just south of Lunt?
It's Pratt.
Yeah, maybe it is. There's this bike shop, Roberts Cyclery on Clark. It's on Clark, like right. I forget. Yeah.
I know. It's way kind of southeast of here. So you go east to Clark and then head down south a little bit. It's only with a much older.
You're not talking about the one south of Devon, though, right?
There's one south of Devon.
Yeah, not that one. This is like,
that's on Western though.
No, yeah, this is like
on Clark.
Yeah, this is on Clark, right by like, it might be a little south, but it's definitely north of
Devon.
Way north of Devon. Yeah, is
it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's got a big Pugo sign. It's right there. Anyway, super close. It was like one of the closer ones to me, and I went and I was looking at. I just wanted a nicer bike, because I was getting into doing these longer rides. So I got they had some newer, like, I don't know, like $1,000-ish, like the cheap Allays, or something like that. I tried those a little.
So remember, when it comes to biking, we should never say cheap. We should say inexpensive.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. No, I'm sure they were good bikes, but I'm really glad this went the way it did, because they were like, I don't know, around $1,000, which then I was like, this is like the biggest expense ever. Spending $1,000 on a bike, that's crazy. So, and then I rode them a little, and I was like, all right, these are like kind of cool, but they just didn't, like, I had been riding this like steel, like race.
And this was carbon, or is it?
No, they were. I think they were aluminum, definitely aluminum. But like they had like modern components, but they were like just set up like a little more upright, endurance kind of like feeling. And then I brought it back, and the guy who owns it was like, "Oh, isn't there that like go get that like Panasonic we had in the basement, like and just so he can, because I don't know, like I just didn't." And so they go and grab this bike that's like exactly my size. A lot of people who will maybe, if they get this far, they know me when I started riding this bike, this like white Panasonic, which is like that. I got it there, and that really got me into it, to get back to your original question, because it was like such a cool bike, and it had like a really like race bike geometry. It would fit me. Like my old bike had been like, I think like a 56. And it was just like, this was like a 54. So I rode it. I'm like, oh man, this thing like rips. Like right away you get on. And it was like $300.
No way.
And the other ones were like, and back then that was like a decent amount for like a vintage steel bike. Now bikes have gotten so expensive. This was probably 2017, 2018,
okay.
Gotcha. So it's like pre-COVID, bike, but, yeah, it was, so I got that, and then that got me like super hooked. From there, it's just like, yeah, clipless shoes with kit, but I was still just doing like, I started doing like really, long rides, and then
this is by yourself, or you're with somebody?
Just by myself still. Yeah, I had a couple friends who were like kind of into bikes, but I would ride with them sometimes, but they weren't into like, I was like really into like pushing it, like,
and he's still into it.
Then, I mean, it was just like every ride is hard and as long and as fast as you can go, I think I had one of those like cat eye computers, and I was just can I average like 18 and a half today? Like,
with stop and go.
Right. Yeah. Like just trying to, and so, yeah. And then I went on the Chain Link Tuesday night ride. That was my first group ride. And yeah, I remember I was pretty fit though, because I've been riding a lot, and I was like,
I'm still pretty young. So of course.
Yeah. I was probably almost 10 years ago. So I was like
28,
late 20s. Yeah. So yeah. And I'm like looking up like online, like how does a group ride work? How do you do a rotating pace line? Like I thought all this stuff, I'm going to have to do all this. And then it was like Chain Link Tuesday night ride. It was just pretty chill, but it was good. It was
disappointed.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I had a good
speed-wise.
I had it. Yeah. But I had a good time. And I remember like, we got to like the lagoons, and yeah, the guy who was leading the ride was like, okay, we're going to I'm going to take it up to like 24. Better hop on. And I was like, oh shit. But that was the first time riding with other people, like, being in the slipstream, like, and I was like, oh, this is sick. And then, so someone told me about Wednesday night ride. So the next week, I didn't make it the next day. I think it was like the next week, the CCC Wednesday night ride, Bevin, leaving from Duncan. Then it was 6:30 year round, so I remember that ride. That was my first.
And you kept up the entire time?
I actually didn't get dropped, which pretty it was solid. Really hard, but I had, but still on the Panasonic, we still had like the down tube shifters. Like I probably pissed some people off, because like, I'm sure I didn't know how to ride smooth, and I was probably like
surgy and all over the place.
But at least eventually, like I was pretty quickly, on the back.
Wait, so this bike you talking about a down tube shifting?
Yeah,
it was like
it was like but it was.
But this is
it worked well though.
2017, 2018. And you're still riding a down
because it was in 1987. That was the Panasonic. I bought it at that store. It was that, and it had like super nice components. It had like like the first generation of Ultegra, or they called it like like 600 or something, Shimano 600. It was like soup. So it was like the like nicest down tube shifters before they went to the other ones, and which then I did upgrade. Like once a little after I started doing group rides, I think I was like, okay, and I bought some like 105 shifters.
Do you still have that bike?
I have unfortunately the frame is it's rusted out a little. I'm saving it because I'm like, man, maybe someday if I meet someone who's a welder and they're like, oh, this actually can be kind of like patched up a little to make like, but I don't know. I'm not holding
it make a great wall piece.
Exactly. Anyway, so it'll be like, it is. Yeah.
This is like where I started. I started here. Like, yeah, this is it.
Right. And I could, and it's not like it's like some super rare frame. I could probably buy another frame like it on eBay.
No.
You don't, so it's not.
No, you don't do that. Like,
so
this is the bike.
Yeah. That's why I moved everything onto this one you saw, that because that's, I use it as just my commuter now. But yeah, so Wednesday night ride, did it. I was able to hang on. And, but again, like I'd been riding for like a long time.
By myself.
So like I had a pretty, and like pretty hard, I guess. Like I didn't think about it like that at the time.
that's hilarious. So then you started doing Wednesday night ride. So when did you decide you're gonna? Because I know you were in a team before the team you are now, which you're gonna get into. So when did you decide, I need to get on a team and start racing? Like, how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I've been doing these rides for a while, and then I started doing. There was this Half Acre had a Tuesday night ride. That was it was kind of like it was kind of a team ride, but it was like kind of more open then. I remember and it was like, I don't know, I remember it kind of being like kind of fast. Bevan would sometimes come on, I feel like. Did you ever meet Jacob Ortoni?
No.
He was on Half Acre. He was pretty, Jen Grown, she was she would be on that ride, like some of that old, at least the Half Acre people from like that era, and it was like so I would did that ride a lot, and that kind of like I was and then I was like, oh, it'd be cool to join the team, and I didn't really. I think before I joined Half Acre though, I did do a couple races. I think just hanging out because some of the people there raced. And
what race were you doing? Like
I think my first race, was Skyway for sure. So, and that was when it was 4 days. So it was like Monday through Thursday, and it was 4 days. And if you were Cat 5, you could race like twice a day.
And you were using that downshifting bike in the races?
No, when I think before I did my first race, I did get almost my current bike. The same bike as my current bike, which is that like 2017-ish Super 6, but it was red. And then I got hit by a car, and the frame got warrantied. So it's same frame, but now it's black. But anyway, I did have that bike essentially. So I've basically been racing the same bike for.
So red bikes are the fastest bike because of the color. It's the fastest color bike. Kidding. But you got a black bike, and they say black don't crack. So that's what's
and that's good. Somehow, like, I shouldn't say it, like, man, but I've since it's been almost 10 years of racing that frame, and it's never cracked. Cracked my cross bike 3 times.
But I said it, man, and he said it too.
It doesn't. Or at least if it has, I can't see it. It's just hidden under the paint.
Okay, so you went from Half Acre initially.
Oh yeah, so I started doing some races just by myself, and then I joined Half Acre, and that's when I got it. Yeah, then started I don't know if this is still the case, but I think they had like a race requirement. You had to do a certain amount of races. Which I think is good for maybe
a racing team.
I don't know. Yeah, it definitely helped like encourage me, because sometimes racing is one of these things for me, at least, where it's addictive and I like it, but it's hard to sometimes motivate myself to do it, even though I race a lot now. But it's sometimes yeah, it's a little hard to get people. I mean, it's hard to get people into doing it. It's hard to grow the scene. It's hard to, so, it kind of like encouraged me to race a little more, especially racing cross. So I raced a lot of cross, and then I would do, like a handful of crits each year, but I was not very good at crits for a while. Like it took me a long time.
Well, it takes time to
get it.
like, get your muscle memory, the experience, to see the dynamics, slipstream, and understanding all these. Effort and
I think I was. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you have to do it a lot. Maybe crits more than almost any other type of racing. Well, like is I guess cyclocross and mountain bike, you got to practice a lot. But for crits, it's like it's different than a group ride. It's even different than a road race. It's just like very, and it took me, and I feel like you have to, what finally made me kind of get better at it was I'm just going to do every race. I did like 30 races in a season,
That's a lot.
and I got way better, and every single practice crit, you know what I mean? And then like, obviously, doing, but yeah, it's like, I started out pretty, like I would do like a handful of races every year, but I always did. Then once I was in half, I did like most of the CCC cyclocross races. So I was like a little more into that.
So then you went from half acre to which group?
Oh, to bad bikes.
Aha.
So that was the feeder team of 606. But
he rode on bad bikes for a little bit. So when did you meet Chris? Like, because when I met you and Chris, you guys were always two guys in the bad bike jersey that's hanging out. So that's
bad bikes was for a while. I think I was on half acre for like 2-3 years, and then less people kind of were really racing, and I was kind of getting more into it, and like and so I was riding with do you know Stephen Merlot?
Everybody knows Stephen Merlot. Come on, man.
Well, he's been MIA for a little.
That's my boy, man.
Yeah. And Nate, started riding. We during COVID, because you were kind of having your what were they calling it? We had just kind of a small group. Your cohort, or whatever.
That's it. That's what.
So it was like,
stranger, stay away.
Yeah, the three of us were like, and then sometimes there were some other people who would ride with us too, but we would just do these like massive like rides out to Barrington because there was no racing, so we just go smash it.
I used to watch you guys, man, during COVID because I was still with Cortado, and I always see it was like you, Chris, and Stephen Merlot. And I had a bunch of people that were crying because Merlot was taking all of their comms during COVID.
Oh yeah, he was.
I won't call the names, but I had some people complaining, man. This guy took my comm. I'm like, bro, it's relax, because there's no cars, there's nothing.
Yeah,
Merlot, that guy takes a risk that I am not gonna take ever. But this guy was taking a lot of people comms. During COVID.
Right.
Yeah. So you with bad bikes for quite some time. I mean, Steven, we miss you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Miss you. So then you went from bad bikes, and then one day I saw you at 7-Eleven, and I was like, oh, I think I was trying to recruit you to come to Evolution Cycling. You remember I was talking to you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, you guys, your bad bike is only two of you guys, or because it's not. I'm like, hey, come to Evolution. I was trying to recruit him. So hey, I did try. And then literally like about 3 weeks later, I saw you in the jersey. So tell people, who do you ride with now?
It's 606.
So, and if you guys, like I said before, 606 is like the best race team, I think, in Illinois, Chicago, for crit racing, some of the strongest guys. You guys have seen them. So now you went with it. So again, you was with Chris at Bad Bikes, and now you're with Chris here in 606.
Yeah. Lucas also bad bikes to 606.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, hold on.
Oh,
Lucas
sorry.
was Johnny Sprocket first.
Oh, and then, yeah.
Because I was Johnny Sprocket first.
Oh, you guys.
And then one day I got up and went, man, Lucas is with Bad Bikes. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And Lucas is with 606. And I'm like, it was like, there's all these transition teams, right? So, which makes sense. If you were getting better and you want to be more competition, stronger guys, hey, mad respect to you guys. Because to get into 606 guys, you have to be some of the best in Chicago. And my prediction is, if 606 keep up the leadership on what Simone is doing and everybody's doing, Legion, watch out. They're coming. He's one of them. All right. So you know your bike was 606. And for people who understand cat racing, what cat are you?
Cat 2.
You're cat 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's solid. So please explain, what does it take to be a cat 2?
I mean, I think if you're just racing a lot and taking your fitness pretty seriously, like I feel like, but it depends on also just kind of what kind of rider you are, some people, it's easier. Like I was saying, it took me like a long time to get good at like, I was like cat 4 for a long time. And then I was like, am I even ever going to get to a cat 3? And then I got to cat 3. I'm like, I'm definitely just going to be a cat 3 forever. And then I just raced, like I was saying, that the year I did, like, yeah, I just was like, I'm going to do every single race, and I was pretty fit. But again, I wasn't like that much more fit, I guess, except racing gets you like to, I feel like, a place that maybe some people can get there by doing like intervals.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for me, the fitness I get from racing, like, takes it to another level, so just doing every race, and then, getting a lot
And
of,
you get like points, right?
you get points.
Points to cat.
So I only won one race as a cat 3, but I got a handful of podiums, and I got a bunch of 4th and 5th places, which,
Still,
that's where you get points. And like, as a, so yeah, I think you just have to. And then in terms of training, I think,
so you do train, have like very specific training regimen that you take on, or you just do your thing?
yeah. So I've done, structured training plans from like Trainer Road kind of thing. I've made my own, like I love learning about all this stuff and watching YouTube videos and reading stuff, and I just find it super interesting in general, but also like how you can apply it to your own training,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think, yeah, I mean, if you have the discipline to really smash intervals really consistently, week after week, all season, or I mean, it's not. I guess it's not an all or nothing thing, but like that's probably optimal,
Gotcha.
to be able to do that and be really structured with your training. But for me, it's just not fun, and I love the social element, and it's like I spend so much time with this hobby sport that it's like I think to justify it, it needs to be more than just the racing. It needs to be like a social thing, and it needs to be a way I can unwind and relax. It needs to be like, and it needs to be good for my health sustainably long term, so for me, what I've kind of been doing the last couple of years is, and so for me, it's like, yeah, I take that motivation that it would take me to do those intervals and try to put all that into being like, okay, do the races, because again, like I was saying, it's hard to get myself to do the races sometimes, but then when I do them afterwards, you're like so high.
You're like, yeah.
or else you're like in the like feel horrible, hate yourself, because sometimes when things don't go well or just bad luck, it's really hard. But when it goes
well,
or even like decent, even when you're like, okay, I feel like I raced good, nothing went wrong, and it's like, sometimes it's so intense that you're like, I just came back from war. Like, you feel great, and then you're like thinking about it, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this next week again, hell yeah. And then it gets closer and closer to the race, and you're like, I don't want to do this. But like, so I try to take my motivation to be like, but then if I don't do it, the FOMO, and I just don't feel good, it's like, so I try to take, and again, like I think in my experience, what's made me a better bike rider is racing more. So it's like, I try to take the motivation it would take to make me do like intervals every day and be like, okay, just race. And then the training, I try to make it like, like I do obsess over things, and I like I was saying, I like all the science, and I like to watch all these videos, as soon as watch every single Dylan Johnson videos, whatever, like, but also
What about
like
NorCal? You watch Jeff too? You watch Jeff video? NorCal? Jeff?
Oh yeah. Everything he's ever done. No, except for even some of the like really fluffy stuff, like which bike does this wheel, but like his race analysis, his stuff with like Will Harden, and now with
Burgoyne. Yeah. So I think one of the coolest thing I've ever heard Jeff said is like, most times the guy who push out the most watts don't win races, especially crits. Sometimes it's about nowhere to hide, find the slipstream, and wait your turn, be smart, move up, position, all these different things. And I've applied that a lot on Wednesday night ride.
Yeah.
That's why I win sprints.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same.
It's so much thinking and science, and also knowing who's on the ride. Yeah. Who can do what, when to do where, and who can catch me. Like there's so many things that goes on. So you probably do some of these same things subconsciously, and it becomes a part of you. Over time, it's like, oh, cool. Okay, I know who is here, and I know what's up, and I'm gonna do this. Because I saw you guys at Grit, Grit, and that was awesome. With you and Chris on the backstretch. That was dope. Oh, you guys were like pushing it. I'm like, you guys are doing your thing. And then you were at the back. Well, as the race progressed, I saw you start moving up and moving up. It's all about the science too, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much strategy, and there's so much. That's why those videos are so great for learning about how to race and stuff. And then you have the videos and the stuff by, like, I really like Steven Seiler, who's like he's not really a like more researcher, but he makes all his lectures and all his stuff, he makes it all available for free. And he's like kind of one of the foremost sports scientists. And
nice.
And so his stuff about training. And one of the things that he talks about that I feel like this is maybe kind of what my training comes down to, is he has this pyramid. You can go look it up, but he calls it like his hierarchy of training needs or something.
Just like the IRFD with Pavlov or whatever, I've got the name. Self-actualization and blah, blah, blah.
Like that, right? Or like a food pyramid, and it's like, but anyway, it's based on at least what he's aware of in terms of like how it's supported by evidence. These things are, right? And so at the bottom is just like volume, right? And then so how much you ride, that's the most important thing, and that's supported by the most evidence. Most strongly supportive thing by most evidence. The second thing is consistency.
Fair enough.
Right? Again, very strongly supported by evidence. And then the third is intensity distribution, which is like, you can't ride super, you got to ride really hard sometimes.
And sometimes too.
And you got to ride easy sometimes, and I feel like if you get those are all apply to everyone. They're guaranteed to work. They're backed by science. They're backed by observation, or experience. If you do it yourself, almost anyone I think would see results from riding a lot consistently. And then doing so for me, my hard days are like Wednesday night ride, or cyclocross practice crits. Those are like, that's maybe my Tuesday, Wednesday workout. Often I do both, which is brutal because it's like practice crits and then Wednesday night ride the next day,
which explains why you're a Cat 2 and why you're so strong. Like, no, I know this.
And again, sometimes maybe it's probably not optimal. Maybe better to move some of that intensity around a little more, although I don't know, it might, but again, it's fun for me. Those are the things, like, again, like racing is like, I do feel great when I do it, but like the things that I just wake up and I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday. Hell yeah. And I'm looking forward to it all day. And like, same with like practice crits. Cause it's like, you still get a little nervous when you're about to start, but it's like, this is just fun. I'm gonna like, and so that, and then my other intensity is like pretty much racing every weekend. Cause it's like through the season, it's either a crit, or cyclocross. And then when there's not a race like that, maybe do like some just do like a fun hard ride,
Gotcha.
or something like that.
So with 606, do you guys do group workouts or it's more kind of individual?
Everyone has their own
thing
training that they do.
Gotcha.
And we don't even, I mean, yeah, we have bandana, but that's again not like we started doing like a team ride, or try to kind of on Tuesday nights, just more social, kind of get to know people, but it can be hard, so, because people live, there are a lot of people live in the suburbs, people who live in Indiana. We even have a guy in, Canada, and so it's more just,
And then you guys, I mean, maybe this is a secret, but do you guys have like a coach for the team, or you guys just do your own?
No, everyone, does their own thing. And if people, some people have a coach, a lot of people self-coached. It's actually interesting though, how, again, I like I said earlier, I do think doing structured training is great and it's optimal. And if some people love doing that, and more power to them. Like Elizabeth loves it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Elizabeth. Hold on that name. We're gonna come back.
But some people, like I know Dean really likes it. Like there's a lot of people who do, and I'm not saying like it's easy for them and they don't have to make themselves do it, but it works for them. I mean, and it can get you really strong. But I find a lot of people who, and again, I'm not trying to say like if you want to be good at racing, this is how you should train. But there's a lot of people who are way better than me, and their training is pretty sporadic, or they're hiding it.
Right, and again, and some people are just a gift, and some people.
Yeah.
Okay, so from my running experience, so I know there's a bunch of people who are really bad at racing, but are amazing at training. I have a bunch of people who are amazing at racing, but suck with training. Okay, because I've seen people. I'm like, man, I'm putting in all this work, and this guy that show up to the race when I was running and destroys me. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because partly because it comes down to there's, at least in crits and cyclocross, and which we don't have a lot of like road races with long climbs or anything here, right? So those races are highly skill based. And things like some people are just so good at like cornering, and some people are just so good
at bike handling. Yeah, which you need for crits anyway.
Yeah, right. And so some people you have the skill aspect, and then you also have people who, the reality is genetics.
And some people
are huge
risk takers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have that. So it's like there isn't, all else being equal, if you do your training really structured, you're going to be better. But it's like, but anyway, for me, it's more about making it sustainable and fun, and keeping again, I think a lot of people maybe worry too much about burning out, but for me, it's maybe more of a mental thing than a physical thing, So it's like I try to keep it fun, and then I love riding easy. So like most of my time is I love doing long rides at like just super chill. Like most people,
I've never seen a chill ride for you. You always average out these crazy numbers. I'm like, I don't average those in my hard rides.
Well, I get aero, and like I actually try to like do, even when I'm on my long rides, I'm a road biker. I practice getting comfortable, like being aero, and so it's like fun, and I think it's fun to go fast, like, and everyone has but it depends. Sometimes, like when you're riding with some people, it's more. Some people like to chat a little more, and some people like to, just go like. But I definitely, I used to, I've gotten pretty good at keeping it pretty chill for me, and because I noticed that, I really recover better from that. So I really,
everybody, most normal people do.
Right.
Those zone 2 recovery days are like, for me, it's so important.
And it's just super fun. I
don't race like you guys though, because you guys are next level. I'm just in you guys' shadow, watching you guys on Strava's. Hey, I know that guy. He's my friend.
you're whooping up on us on Wednesday night ride. So I'll just be like, all right, I got this, and then you come by me like I'm standing still.
well, again, for me, you said the hierarchy with volume and all the different things, and like one of my main thing, my number one rule for biking is don't get dropped. So I try everything to not get dropped, and I look forward to Wednesday night rides, and I'm excited. And my goal is to just win, at least pull off one sprint. If I can win one sprint, I go home. I tell my wife, hey, I want to sprint Wednesday night ride today. Look at me, I'm king of the castle, king of the castle. Like I'm captain now. And that's what keeps me going. And you talk about being on 606. This is one of the reasons why I can't commit to a team, because I just like to ride and have a good time. And I'm in all the groups, man, in Chicago.
Yeah.
I just love the people. I love riding. I'm telling you, probably will never see me at a race or commit to a team, but I just love to be around people. And that's what keeps me going. I'm doing something like coming in and talking to you about your experience and stuff. That's what keeps me going, man. But number one rule: don't get dropped. That's my that's my. And again, Jamaican fast twitch muscle. And again, I put in the volume. How many miles have you biked for the year already?
I think I'm close to 10,000, 9 something. I usually end up right around 10,000. Yeah. So that's
and I'm doing. I talk about volume. I am at 11,000 already.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I do between 12 plus to 16 every year for the past, because again, I'm much older than you guys, so to keep up with you guys, I have to do volume is my thing.
Yeah.
And then do some sprint here and there, and Wednesday night ride, try to test the legs out and the sprints, and that's what keeps me going. So yeah. All right. So we cover all of that. Where is like one of your most favorite places to bike in Illinois, in Chicago? Right?
Oh, good question. I mean, I would say the North Branch Trail.
Oh, really?
Is my happy place. All parts, like it's got, you got the paved trail, which I love. You've got then there's like the gravel paths, so all the way from like Dempster up to the Skokie Lagoons, there's a gravel path that was actually the original North Branch Trail before they paved it. It's like there's horses on there sometimes, I love riding that. And then I've just been, over the last few years, Chris has been doing this a lot with me, just discovering all this single track that runs along there too. So there's like, I can almost go now from like where it starts at like, like Bryn Mawr. I guess it goes a little further south, but I get on at Bryn Mawr, and I can do, I would say like all the way from Bryn Mawr up to the lagoons is like probably 80-90% off-road. So it's really, I have all these little single tracks. They're really technical. There's a lot of logs that you have to hop, or like, I mean, some of them I can hop, some I have to get off. So I practice my remount. Good for bike handling, and you're just in you usually don't see anyone. So it really feels like you're just in the wilderness, but you're in the middle of suburbia,
Wow.
And so I like put in my headphones and just vibe, and like,
that's awesome.
And so I like that. I like the North Shore, all the roads we all ride. DPRT is great. Lakefront is super fun. But I feel like the North Branch is like, for just get away.
For a very long time, I used to confuse DPRT with North Branch, but they're actually separate.
Oh, yeah.
For a long, I'm like, isn't that? I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, one is way west, one is more east.
I mean, DPRT is great, but it's a little further to get to. So it like has to be like, I do it if I'm doing like a really long ride or something. And it's not, the North Branch off-road stuff is like a little more technical. So, but there are some cool single track sections off the DPRT too.
Oh, nice. All right. So I think I want to cover it and hear what you think. What's one of the most memorable biking experience you've had that if you have any that come to mind? It's like, man, this one moment, I was at Zen. Like,
well, I would say, yeah, for sure. I think last year, was this? No, 2 years ago, Elizabeth and I were in Mexico City.
I remember.
And
I was talking to you guys.
Yeah, and we were doing we rode all over. I mean, I think that, we're trying to plan some kind of trip for this year too. And we're both in agreement that like, we want to be able to train, but we don't want like that to necessarily, we don't want that to like, if we just want to train to go to Tucson or like LA or something, and like just have good riding. But it's like I think a bike is the best way to see a place, especially if like a road bike, if you're pretty fit. I mean, what other way can you ride like 100 miles with not that even much effort? And you get to see all this stuff that you would never see from a car or a train, or there's no other way.
I agree, because I've driven places and then I've ridden, I'm like, that was there?
Yeah, no, yeah. A car is too fast. Plus, a lot of places you can ride, you can't get in a car, or it's like prohibitive in terms of like traffic. Or like, we rode up this, like there's this, it was like 20 or 30 mile long bike path go up through like the mountains, through all these neighborhoods outside of Mexico City and stuff. And it was like the streets there, people do drive on them, but they're insane. Like, I'm like, we're never going to see this if we drove here. I mean, and there is like, yeah, if you walk or take public transit, it takes so much time. So it's like, we got to see all these different parts of Mexico City that we would have never been able to see otherwise.
And you guys didn't have any problem biking over there, the people and everything?
Everyone was so nice. The drivers were like way better than here, even though the traffic is like way more crazy. And if you see it, you might be like, this is like lawless, but people are just not, everyone drives slower, partly because there's so like here, they don't do the thing as much here where it's like, there's a red light and everyone goes like full gas and then slams on their brake as hard as they can. It's just like a little more chill vibe. Partly I think it's a cultural thing, but partly it's like, it's so congested already. You just don't have the expectation necessarily you're going to just be able to drive anywhere easily. So drivers, I thought, were more, and you have to be aware because there might just be a giant hole in the middle of the road, or like a huge speed bump, like on a highway. They're arterials. Like, imagine if Western had like huge speed bumps, not like the ones we have in residential streets. So you're just driving down an arterial street and you can't really expect to be going that. So traffic was pretty, like, I felt pretty calm. And there's a million motorcycles weaving through and everything too. So cars are used to that. So anyway, most memorable experience, the whole kind of trip, but we took this long day where we rode, the whole city's like surrounded by these mountains in this like plateau. We rode over the mountains down the other side to this like little town. This descent, it was like probably like a 10-mile descent, and the road was so bad, full of holes, like just falling apart. We're just like grabbing our brakes as hard as possible, and like but it was an adventure. And we're like, if we double flat, then we'll just have to like wait and maybe someone can give us a ride. I don't know. It was like, we were out there.
Well, you made it and you're here.
Yeah. And it was, you ever watch like Safa Brian videos? You know what I'm talking about? No. He does these videos of these descents mostly. Like, that's what he's famous for. There's one with him and like Tom Pidcock going down this one in LA. And he's a really good descender and he films these people descend. Anyway, it was his route. He made some video. Yeah. It was like, I'm like, let's try this. This is crazy, Yeah, like
Ziff Road,
way worse in person. But we got down and then we climbed back up this other road up this mountain, and it's a lot. I mean, the whole ride it's a lot of climbing. There's so many mountains there. So then we're at this place, and the only way to get from there back to the city is literally you have to get on this highway. Like, it'd be like getting on like a tollway. No, it's this elevated expressway that runs down the mountain into the city. But this is what people, if you look on the Strava heat map, it's like the busiest route. Yeah, so that's what they do. So we get on this highway. It's just straight up like, and then but after like a little bit of climbing, once we get on it, we're just on the shoulder, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy. Then it's like all downhill for like 20 miles down the side of a mountain back into Mexico City. And so we just ripped it at like, 40 plus miles an hour for like 20 miles just going down this high, and again, like there wasn't a ton of traffic then, so there's like 4 lanes, so cars are just giving us the whole lane. So just imagine, yeah, you have your own lane on perfectly smooth until, well, then there are some speed bumps you kind of have to hop. But like, well, at one point we got to this toll booth, and we're like, oh shit. So we stop, and then someone starts kind of yelling at us. And we're like, oh no, we're going to be detained, And he's like, over here, go on the sidewalk. And we just go on the sidewalk, takes us around the toll booth and hop back on the highway. So we're just like, good. And then you start to get closer to the city, and there's a lot of traffic. Kind of like, again, motorcycles are constantly doing it. So that to me was like the craziest thing I've ever done on a bike. I mean, we not super safe, but I'll definitely always remember that.
Of course. And you were with Elizabeth. See, you keep on dropping the name Elizabeth, talking about this earlier. Could you please, you can introduce her and tell her, who is this Elizabeth person?
Everyone knows her. So yeah, Elizabeth Dixon, our very own elite world class,
everything, and
cyclist,
and he's the luckiest man in the world.
It's true. also my girlfriend. So.
His girlfriend, the significant other. Seriously, I've always access think about like, how does it feel to be dating like a pro, somebody like that stuff? Does it put any pressure on you like this? Like seriously, like how does it feel?
I mean, I think it's super cool. I mean, it's like, yeah. And I think, like it all, it's maybe, sometimes people are like, oh, couples shouldn't have the same interests, or it's like you compete.
No, couples should have the same interests because
or maybe not.
Easier.
But maybe like is like sometimes there can be like a thing with competing or whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm like, she's so much better than me. There's it's a totally different level of like racing.
As long as you're insecure, it works.
Yeah. So, right. And it's awesome that we can ride together. When we do rides together, like it's like, yeah, I remember the first time before she even got like really into racing a ton, we did this trip in Tucson. We did like 20 hours in 1 week and ton of climbing, and like I was riding as hard as I wanted. Like it wasn't like I was taking it easy, and she was there, no problem. Later she told me, she's like, I really suffered that whole trip. And you're like, and I'm like, she didn't, but she's got a poker face. You can't tell when she's suffering.
Did you post on Strava not too long ago about getting dropped or being out of shape or something like that?
Oh yeah, well, just to go to the Mexico thing, I was like super sick the whole trip. I was like I had this thing that I could not kick, and so it was like I really felt like I like lost 100 watts on my FTP. Like I was like dying. Like I was averaging like 120 watts for these rides, and like being like it was weird. I don't know. Luckily I got over that. But yeah, so she was dropping me all day. She would wait for me though. But then I could drop her on the descents because I have no sense of self-preservation.
No, but for real though, having a significant other that rides have the same hobby as you is the biggest thing. Because again, my wife is also a cyclist too.
Yeah.
So I can get away with like buying stuff and all the different things, and she understands. I can go and spend 6 hours away, 7 hours away from home on a bike ride. I come home, she understands.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the commonality stuff, you're gonna have a lot of conflicts in the relationship. So you got lucky. Not only that, she bikes for fun, right? Like next level, pro level cyclist. Guys, Chicago, we have Elizabeth because of Jacob, or Jacob because of Elizabeth. I don't know. But man, it's awesome to see you guys always be riding here and stuff, and always so refreshing to see Elizabeth when she come to Wednesday night ride and be like dropping boys and dropping the guys. I'm like, man, look at that, man. That is awesome. Elizabeth Dixon. You haven't come on the show because you did some other stuff already, but hey, you're like one of my favorite cyclists in Chicago. Okay? I did say that. You're one of my favorite. But yeah, so any plans for, well, the year is almost finished. We're done with cyclocross. So you have any plans for like, let's go to next year. What major plan for next year?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would like to do some of the races that I didn't really get a chance to do this year. It can sometimes, I work a lot on the weekends. So sometimes like I have to, if I want to do like a series that's on a weekend out of town or something. Like I last few years I did Snake Alley, which is like a whole weekend out in Iowa, super fun races. And I kind of let Chris out to dry. Sorry, Chris, because we were going to do it last year. And then I got this gig come up and I was like, you got to work sometimes, So I like to make that a priority because it's one of my favorite series. And then I don't want to, we'll see how it's going, but I did all of Grit 2 years ago. And then this year I did like 4 or 5 of them. And I think I want to try to do that all again. So that was like a cool experience, and like just try to take you, but you got to take like a week off,
right? To focus on that stuff because it's
so that would be cool to do.
And then next year going to be a cat one.
I don't know if I'll ever get there. But I've said that before when I remember being, when I was a cat thrill, never going to get to a cat. I don't know. But I'm getting old. I think once I'm like, I can race a lot of like local masters races now. So I like
race against Lanyon.
Well, luckily we're on the same team, but like the masters races are fun, and I can do those locally. I can double up. I can do like that and then do like the 1-2 race, which is fun. Next year, the following year, I'll be able to do those at like Toad. I'd like to do some more of Toad, but with Toad, for at least for the second half, you can only do the 1-2.
Gotcha.
I'm not old enough to do masters. And some of those races can hang, but some of those races are, some of those national level races are a little
next level.
Yeah. And it's cool to be able to sit in and stuff, but it's like I'm not going to plan my whole season around those. But
gotcha.
But yeah, I just want to I like to do all the local crits. Some hopefully I always like to do lacrosse. That it's series in Wisconsin. It's got a road race and a crit, and maybe some more. I did this last year Fat and Skinny, which is a series in Indiana. Road race and a couple crits, super fun. Want to try to do that again, but and maybe I don't know about this year. Potentially there's some early races like Tucson Bicycle Classic in which it could be cool. I've only done one like road race that had like some proper climbing in California years ago. And it was pretty sweet. And then I crashed out on like second lap or something. And so it would be cool to do some kind of race, maybe like Gila, or although that's at elevation, which is crazy. But like it would be cool to do some more road races with some more climbing. But it kind of depends on what my work schedule is and stuff too, So I usually try not to plan too far ahead. You never know what's going to happen. Some people are like buying their reg like a year ahead, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive then. I don't know.
I hear you. So, man, it just dawned on me. So your last name is Wilson. Are you related to Luke and Owen Wilson, the actors?
No.
I was just thinking, wait a minute. Your last name is Wilson. But no connection.
No connection.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not positive. I've never done like 23andMe
because you kind of have like maybe a Luke Wilson vibe. I'm just making stuff. I have no idea. I think I told you. You remind me of the guy from the Umbrella Academy. That was a TV show. There's one guy that you remind me of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Umbrella Academy. I think I showed the picture at 7-Eleven, but you're like, maybe not. But every time I see Jacob, I'm like, the Umbrella Academy. One guy with long hair. That's always like, you remind me of him. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Yeah. So how many bikes do you have now?
I've got, I got my road bike, got my cyclocross bike, really only like 3 functioning bikes, and then I've got my commuter.
Gotcha.
I have my old cross bike, but it's kind of in pieces, and but yeah, so like that's really it. Hopefully, I'm gonna be getting a new road bike for next season.
What do you have in mind? Factor? No.
Hopefully, I don't see those. We may have some kind of deal with 606 coming through. That would be pretty sweet. So wait,
that means Colnago VR1.
No, yeah, no. Well,
or V1.
Yeah, so maybe but like I don't know. I would probably buy something either if I can get a good deal used locally on something, or maybe something like Chinese. Those bikes.
Okay, so which means you're talking about WindSpace, Tovella,
exactly
the stuff that Patrick
exactly.
reviews.
I love that.
I know the names of all these.
Right. I think it's good stuff.
So are you running disc brake now or rim brake? Or you have a mix?
Rim brake. My road bike is still rim brake, and my cross bike is disc for cross discs.
Yeah. So a couple weeks. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I mean, but again, it's not because I don't like disc brakes. Like I'm trying to get a disc brake road bike, but I'm just like. It's hard. I'm not like a big gearhead. So, and I like if I like my road bike, it works. I love the way it rides, but I do want some, with some for doing rainy races, disc brakes would be nice. Something that can fit like 30 or 32 millimeter tires, good for crits. But I also like, just, I don't want to spend too much because I might break it.
Well, you can break rim, you can break this. And
right.
So far, as long as you get a black bike, you'll be all right. Because black don't.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that has been my experience. With,
right. So true story. So about maybe a month and a half ago, month ago, I went to Wednesday night ride, and this guy showed up, and he was showing off his back rim. What happened?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it fully delaminated the brake track, and I think. Oh, go ahead.
That was wild. I mean, when he showed, I'm like, wait a minute, because I see everybody like we're looking at his bike and what's going on, and I looked at his bike, guys, where the brake surface touches the rim that literally came off.
Yeah, I think it must have been that I probably hit something a while ago that maybe damaged it. I think it was because then when I hit the hole, it was just a pothole on Sheridan. I didn't even flat. I didn't even flat, and I really didn't hit it that hard. Like,
were they tubeless or is it tubeless?
Tubeless, yeah. And like when you hit something hard though, but it was like my weight wasn't even on my seat, and it was my rear wheel, and it was like so it wasn't that hard. And but then it didn't even flat. Like I rode it home, but the brake track delaminated. So I think that maybe it was already
in the process
damaged, and then that like took it, but. Fast Forward is being cool about it. They're offered me like even though it's out of warranty, if I send them the hub and the spokes, they're going to build it up again for like $300 something, which is
that's pretty good.
Yeah, which is really so. Shout out to them. I still got to do it and send it to like the Netherlands, and hopefully there's not some terror.
Get it back as a get.
I know.
Like,
exactly.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
I just bought a brand new rim set for this.
Right. Yeah. But I do really like the wheels, and I want to like even if I get a new bike, I want to keep that bike as a backup, and it's just a fun bike to ride. So yeah, but that was those potholes on Sheridan are
well, they're fixed, man. They're fixed. They were like
it's
awesome
getting
now.
Yeah.
So like now at St. John's we made left off really cook to St. John's to go to the rollers.
Oh yeah,
that stretch right there. It's smooth now. They fixed it.
Oh yeah, I think I saw them.
And then coming, when we come south on St. John's to the Ravinia, that's fixed now too.
Oh.
It's all dug up, and it's so when you get back next season, the left off Lake Cook onto St. John's is gonna be awesome, and coming back south. Going to be all fixed and nice going into Ravinia. I mean that left turn.
Oh yeah,
Ravinia, that's gonna be all smooth and nice. Too.
Oh nice, that's been messed up for you.
So
as long as I've been riding there.
It's a good job, and I think maybe Ed Brill. I give him all the credit to fix all the roads because Ed Brill is the guy who I say advocate a lot for them to fix the roads. So thanks to Ed Brill. Yeah. So thank you so much. For that. Yeah, so man, we have covered so much. But one more thing, I wanted to. What happened? You say you broke your Di2 or your SRAM
Oh
derailleur?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
During we had a super muddy race at Big Marsh, uh, and I did just enough of a lap to get completely covered in mud. Like
special effects.
yeah, yeah, just like the worst part of like there was like a puddle you had to ride through like that deep, and so I did like not even a full lap, and then I just caught a stake on my rear derailleur, and you know maybe if as soon as I felt a little tug, I'd like stopped and got off my bike and untangled it, like maybe I could have saved it. But when you're racing and you're in the mud
And your
and you have
instinct. Yeah,
momentum,
yeah.
you just try to keep pushing because sometimes you rub up against a stake and so I felt like such an idiot. Yeah, but it happens. Got caught it. I've never seen it. That stake though was really in there because it like ripped the whole cage for the jockey wheels. Like it ripped that in half. Part of it's just
Wow.
somewhere out there still. Bent the derailleur hanger like it was just sticking like up. The chain was off it because the chain got ripped out of the cage. The chain didn't break; it just got ripped out of the jockey wheel cage.
That's
And so
wild.
it was carnage. But yeah, but luckily Kelly O'Brien on 606 teammate of mine had who works for SRAM had an extra red derailleur, which she gave me an amazing deal on. Thank you, Kelly. So it got me up and running like in a couple days. So
That's
I was
pretty
able to
awesome.
race the next weekend and keep going. Because it was my first bike with electronic shifting, and I'm like, what can a derailleur cost? 100, 150
No,
bucks.
not for electronic shifting.
I was
And,
like, what?
yeah, and they make it now where if you buy this everything together, it's way cheaper than if you just buy one component.
Yeah.
Right? So the entire group set might cost 13, 14
Right,
dollars.
right.
But it's to buy the rail alone is
Yeah.
like 600 bucks. You're like, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
When you can get the shifters, the brake calipers, all the cable, everything.
Right.
So it's like, might as well just buy a brand new
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because yeah, good chance you're going to break your shifters at some point too.
Exactly, exactly. Man, biking is fun. Chicago. Jacob, that was awesome. I learned so much about you. Musician, teacher. His significant other is Elizabeth Dixon, the baddest female, one of the baddest female, fastest, strongest cyclists in town. You've all about his bike transition from half acre to bad bikes to 606, which means that he can say, "Hey, mom and dad, I've made it. I'm on 606 team." Right? Guys, if you see him, he's smoke. Christopher Lamb is fire. I mean, trust me, you're gonna see them. It could also be even him and Elizabeth smoke on fire, but most times it's gonna be if you see Chris, I guarantee you could walk into a random bar in Chicago. If you see Jacob, trust me, Chris is maybe in the restroom. These guys go together, and you guys is this fantastic friendship. I love to see you guys out there doing your thing, man. It's always a pleasure, and I really appreciate it for coming out and sharing so much with us. And yeah, you want to leave us with anything like what keeps you going?
On the bike?
Yeah, in life, bike.
Oh, well, the bike keeps me going in life. Life keeps me going on the bike.
Hey, that's so profound, man. I love
Actually,
that.
yeah, maybe I'll go with that.
I'm gonna quote him on that.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just yeah, when it comes to biking, the community, all the people, that's like I was saying, man, that's why it's like maybe sometimes going on a group ride is not the optimal training, but I'm always going to pick it.
Always.
Yeah.
Always, man. Like as I said, when I you guys don't understand, like this is kind of like a confession, but I'm being really candid right now. Like going on a Wednesday night ride or going in a group ride and to see my friends and just to see how like cycling bring us together and how people are just so happy when you're on your bike. And we talk, we shoot shit, whatever you want to say, and we just have a good time. And I mean, it's so beautiful, and it brings out a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. Sometimes we curse at each other, we do stupid stuff because nobody want to crash, right? So if you do something, you get yelled at a little bit, but it's all in good, good advice. So we say, hey, let's be careful. But and we finish and we just have a blast. And man, Chicago, you can't beat that. There's no price on the connection we've built over there to all these guys. You know, we can just start rattling off names right now. Some of them have been on the show before and share their views. And man, Chicago, we have an awesome place. Thanks again, Jacob, for coming out.
Thank you.
Mad respect. Thanks for the music. You guys saw him play music. That was pretty cool. Jacob is in the network, guys. Please don't be a stranger to him. If you see him out there, don't mistake him for Chris. But you'll see them together. Smoke and Fire. That's a nickname, okay? And Jacob makes Chicago a beautiful place to be in. And if you see him out there, guys, again, don't be shy. You'll see him in Elizabeth. Hey, shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to call those people out because they put Chicago on the map for cycling. If you guys didn't know, if you guys are in the racing, these guys literally put Chicago on the map when it comes to, people like, man, I got Dubai go against 606 against Jacob, you got Chris, you got Nate, you got, you have Mike Lanyon, all the new people are coming in. Now I won't call names because some names are still, coming in, but joining the team, right? You got Andrew Sparks and all the people are coming in, man. 606 is our team and we rep 606. We love you guys. Thank you for just doing what you're doing. Don't be shy. No matter where you ride, we're here. Join the community and see us next time. All right, guys. So as we end and come to a closing, as I would say, guys, keep the miles and smiles going until we meet